Hey there guys, and welcome to the Japan Online channel. Well, most of you have probably heard that we had a reasonably big typhoon go through most of the southern part of Japan just the other day, Typhoon 18, and the area that I live in, Shizuoka Prefecture, was one of the first places that it actually, well, it was the place where it actually landed, you could say, came onto land in Japan. Hamatsu City, which is just the city over from where this video is taken, and as you can see, it's pretty windy and raining, and you might not be able to hear it now, but I'm sure later in the video you'll hear it. But it was pretty windy. The rain was pretty hard. From the news reports I heard later in the day, depending on which part of the prefecture you're in, you got between 200 millimeters of rain to up to 500 millimeters of rain, which is an incredible amount of rain to get in a few hours. And you'll probably see a couple of times where I go through what's almost like a lake of water. Yeah, it was an incredible amount of rain, and the wind was from about 60 kilometers an hour up to about 140 kilometers an hour, depending on, of course, the place you were in and the actual time that you, the time of the day. This moment here is around about 7:30 in the morning, and visibility, as you can see, is less than 100 meters. Maybe just over 100 meters, and here we're coming through quite a strong bit where the wind, and this was ended up being quite flooded when I came back at lunchtime. But you can see the and most of the way I'm driving with the typhoon winds behind me, so you don't quite see the heavy rain bashing into my window screen. Or the strong winds. You do coming up in about 30 to 40 seconds, but most of the time I've got it coming in from my left hand side and back of the car, so it doesn't look as bad as it was, and it probably wasn't as bad as I thought it would be when I compare it to a typhoon that we had about 3 years ago. I was actually going all the way into it, directly into it, so it was pretty tough to drive. This one here wasn't too bad. The car wasn't wobbling too much. There were moments it was, and it was pretty tough to sort of control. But as you can see, this car here, we go around this corner here, and it just slows right down, and bang. We're actually going pretty much directly into it. It's sort of coming from our left to front, from the left and front of the car. So as you can see, it's just pelting us with rain. The wind is really strong, and the car is shaking quite a bit in this point here. So this was the Typhoon 18 that came through just today, which I think today's the 6th. I got up early in the morning to have a look around the city I was in, and it wasn't too bad, but on my way to work, and yes, I had to go to work, and so did everyone else. Japan doesn't stop for anything. Only kids get really the day off, but Japan doesn't stop for anything. And I think when I went around for my drive before this, there were plenty of companies open, doing stuff. They didn't really care that the wind and rain was pelting their building, but still, yeah. Some of the convenience stores I went past were closed, but that's sort of understandable. Their doors are getting open and closed, so they were pretty sick of tired of having to deal with all the rain. So I think once it got really hard, they just closed shop, and I wasn't able to get my breakfast. So again, we've got the actual typhoon rain and wind coming from behind us, and it's pretty strong at the moment. So that's why you can't see very far in front of you. And at this time, I started to notice that a lot of the rice fields were flooded. The rivers were really overflowing, almost to a point where they were probably going to burst their banks. And later on, when I went for a bit of a drive around, a lot of them had burst their banks and were flooded onto the roads. And throughout the southern part of Japan, there was a lot of incidents like this. So that just really shows you how much rain fell. Because when you look at a rice field, it's probably just under a half a meter deep. So for a rice field of about, I don't know, 50 meters square, maybe some of them 100 meters square, to fill up with water and then overflow, just shows you how much rain actually fell over the morning when the typhoon actually hits, about 3 in the morning, I think it was. But yeah. So this is Typhoon 18. It's a drive to work at around about 7:30 in the morning. As you can see, it's pretty windy and pretty rainy. But it was fun. I love it. I love driving. I wasn't in any danger whatsoever. But of course, it only just takes one moment and bang. And like I said, I mentioned a previous typhoon. I was waiting at in that typhoon. I was waiting at some traffic lights, a huge intersection, and in Hamamatsu, and is it Aiwa from a building. Aiwa building, the company that makes the stereos and car stereos and all that kind of stuff. One of their signages, a bit of the plastic came flying off and smashed right into my window screen. It was probably one of the most scariest things I've ever experienced. But that was it just shows you that within a second, 2 seconds, things can change. And of course, in a typhoon like this, you never know what could come flying at any point in any direction. And like I said, in my drive around, there was lots of flooding, there was lots of debris everywhere, and trees had fallen over, some power poles had fallen over, and some buildings, the big door, just in that building there you saw some big doors. Some of the buildings that I went past, some of those doors had been ripped off, and so at any point I could have been driving and boom, one of those doors or one of those, some plastic could have gone flying past. So while I wasn't in serious danger at any point throughout my travel, you just never know. So it is one of the reasons why we're driving probably around about 40 kilometers an hour, because you just don't know what's going to happen and you need to stop quickly as possible. So that was fun, but still, yeah, quite serious. And it ended up being this day I got to work, and I think just as I got to work, it sort of died down, and that was it. The rain died, the wind sort of calmed down a bit, and the blue sky started to appear. So this is really probably at its strongest, but within half an hour from this video, it just dies off completely. The wind, and even now when recording this here, the wind is reasonably strong. It's not typhoon strong, but it's pretty strong for Japan in this time of year. So that will take probably tomorrow. It should be back to normal, but really in the next 25 minutes, 30 minutes, the typhoon would have gone past this point. And as you can see, the trees there are just blowing like hell. Yeah, and it was fun, but it was a little bit freaky. But still, you get used to them, and you just go with the flow. You be Japanese. You just go to work when you're told to go to work, and even if there's a typhoon, even if it's Christmas. But still, anyway, I'll let you sort of watch the rest of this. There's probably about another 4 or 5 minutes left of it. And if you have any questions, please ask them in the questions section below. If you have any, if you like the video, please like it. If you haven't subscribed already, then please subscribe for more videos.
and also please follow us on Facebook, where we post not only just videos but photos and various information, articles, and much more stuff from Japan and living here. So thank you. Later.